Is the bread you are eating every day even real bread anymore? You grab a loaf from the supermarket shelf. You see words like wholemeal, multigrain, or traditional on the packaging, maybe even a picture of golden wheat fields. You assume you are buying a wholesome product, something your grandparents would recognize, but here is what the marketing does not tell you. That loaf you just picked up likely contains up to 15 different additives. It can include a bread preservative linked to behavioral problems in children. It can include emulsifiers that research suggests may damage your gut lining. And the iconic Australian bread brand on the label is probably owned by a British multinational corporation. I spent weeks researching ingredient lists, ownership structures, food additive research, and consumer complaints. What I found explains why so many Australians report bloating, digestive issues, and brain fog after eating supermarket bread, problems they never experience with fresh bakery bread or homemade loaves. Let me show you which brands to avoid. Number 1, Tip Top. Tip Top has been a household name since 1958. Good on your mum, Tip Top's the one. That slogan is burned into the memory of every Australian. But here's the truth. Tip Top is not Australian owned. It is owned by George Weston Foods, a subsidiary of Associated British Foods, a multinational corporation headquartered in London. So when you buy Tip Top bread, your money flows to the United Kingdom. Consumer reviews on Product Review Australia are brutal. One reviewer wrote that the quality has been sliding for years, calling it light, airy, and dry. Another said the bread tears and crumbles when making a sandwich and is brittle and shatters when making toast. Multiple reviewers report finding mold on bread that is only a couple of days old. Others describe a funny smell that makes them want to be sick. When a company representative replied on the review site claiming the recipe has not changed, one consumer called them out directly, saying they are either straight up lying or they themselves are being lied to. In 2022, Tip Top in New Zealand had to recall bread due to plastic contamination. This happened again in late 2022. That is 2 plastic contamination recalls in a single year. Number 2, Helga's. Helga's markets itself as premium bread with thick slices and generous whole grains. The packaging suggests traditional baking, crafted by real bakers every day. But look at the ingredient list. Helga's traditional wholemeal contains something called cultured wheat flour. This is the dirty secret of the bread industry. Cultured wheat flour is a way to hide the bread preservative calcium propionate, also known as preservative 282. Because it is produced through fermentation, manufacturers can claim no artificial preservatives while delivering the same chemical effect. Research published in the Journal of Pediatrics and Child Health found that calcium propionate may cause irritability, restlessness, inattention, and sleep disturbance in children. The Food Intolerance Network has collected thousands of reports from Australian parents describing dramatic behavioural changes in their children linked to this preservative. Reports include tantrums, bedwetting, concentration problems, speech delays, and in some cases self-harming behaviour that stops completely when the preservative is removed from their diet. And Helga's is owned by Goodman Fielder, one of the largest food corporations in Australasia. That premium, small bakery image is corporate marketing. Now, before we continue, I know many of you have been asking for a simple way to make better choices at the supermarket without having to memorize all of this information. So I have created a practical guide that you can use every day to avoid these traps and pick the best options for your family. The link is in the pinned comment below. I have to be honest with you, I do not know how long I will be able to keep that link active. The big brands have been pressuring me. They want to take down my videos. I have been receiving strange emails and phone calls every single day. Some of these calls genuinely scare me, but I am not going to stop. I love Australia above everything else, and I will keep doing this work for as long as I can. So if you want the guide, grab it now while you can. Now, let us continue. Number 3, Abbott's Village Bakery. Abbott's Village Bakery is marketed as a small traditional bakery producing rustic artisan-style bread. The packaging features a story about craftsmanship and heritage. But here is the reality. Abbott's Village Bakery is owned by the same British multinational that owns Tip Top. George Weston Foods is a subsidiary of Associated British Foods. It is the same corporate owner across different brands, using different marketing strategies. The ingredient list tells the same story. It includes emulsifiers 471, 472E, and 481, cultured wheat flour, the hidden preservative we discussed, soy flour, and canola oil. This is not artisan bread. This is industrial bread with premium branding. When you pay extra for Abbott's Village Bakery thinking you are supporting a small local bakery, you are actually funding one of the biggest food conglomerates in the Southern Hemisphere. The premium price goes to the same multinational, not to Australian bakers. Number 4. Wonder White. Wonder White has been positioning itself as a healthy alternative, the bread that gives you fibre while looking and tasting like white bread. But Wonder White is also owned by George Weston Foods, the same British multinational that owns Tip Top and Abbott's Village Bakery. So let me be clear, Tip Top, Abbott's Village Bakery, Bergen and Wonder White are all owned by the same company. The illusion of choice on the supermarket shelf is exactly that, an illusion. The ingredient list reveals the typical cocktail of additives. Emulsifiers E471, E472E, and E481 are listed. These ingredients are used to speed up production and extend shelf life. Research published in the British Medical Journal in 2023 found associations between certain emulsifiers and an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Studies have also linked some emulsifiers to disruption of the gut microbiome and inflammation of the gut lining. Your gut is where 70% of your immune system lives. When you damage your gut with daily exposure to these additives, you are not just affecting digestion, you are compromising your entire immune function. And real bread does not need these additives. Traditional bread uses just 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. Everything else is there for the manufacturer's convenience, not your health. Number 5. Lawson's. Lawson's bread is another brand you will find on supermarket shelves across Australia. And just like the others, it contains the hidden bread preservative. Check the ingredient list. Fermented wheat flour. This is the same trick we discussed with Helga's. It sounds natural, even healthy. But fermented wheat flour is simply another way to deliver propionate preservatives without having to declare them as artificial. The Food Intolerance Network warns consumers to avoid any bread containing cultured or fermented wheat, dextrose, or whey. These are all methods the industry uses to hide preservative 282. Lawson's also contains the standard emulsifiers and dough conditioners that allow bread to be mass-produced at high speed. Australia has one of the highest permitted levels in the world of propionic acid and propionates used as preservatives. The food industry lobbied hard to keep these additives in our bread, and now they have found clever ways to disguise them on the label. Number 6. Woolworths Macro Organic. This one might shock you. Woolworths Macro is supposed to be the healthy organic option. Parents pay premium prices thinking they are making the best choice for their families. But even some macro products contain questionable additives. The word organic on the label does not mean the bread is free from emulsifiers or processing aids. The bigger problem is the supermarket strategy itself. Woolworths and Coles create dozens of bread brands designed to look like independent bakeries. Two Churches, Cowbombie, Pensilver Estate. These are not real bakeries. They are phantom brands created by the supermarket giants. The supermarket duopoly controls approximately 80% of the retail grocery market in Australia. Their buying power squeezes genuine small bakers who cannot compete on price, while their private label products flood the shelves. When you buy these phantom brands, you think you are supporting a small Australian baker. In reality, you are padding the profits of the same corporations that are squeezing family bakeries out of business. So what should you actually eat? First, Baker's Delight. Baker's Delight was founded by Roger Gillespie in 1980 in Victoria, Australia. It remains Australian-owned, with over 700 stores, Their plain white bread is preservative-free and made fresh daily in each store. According to the Food Intolerance Network, Baker's Delight plain white iced finger buns are safe for those avoiding propionates. When you buy from Baker's Delight, you are supporting an Australian-owned business. Second, genuine sourdough from artisan bakeries. Traditional sourdough bread undergoes a long natural fermentation process using wild yeast and lactic acid bacteria. Research shows this process breaks down FODMAPs, the fermentable carbohydrates that cause bloating and digestive discomfort in many people. Studies published in peer-reviewed journals show that sourdough fermentation can reduce fructan content by over 90%. The organic acids produced during fermentation support a healthy gut microbiome and may help with blood sugar control. Be careful. Many supermarket sourdoughs are fake. They add vinegar or flavoring to regular bread to create a sour taste without the genuine fermentation process. Look for sourdough from independent bakeries that can tell you about their fermentation time. Real sourdough takes at least 12 to 24 hours to ferment. Third, make your own bread. A basic bread maker costs less than $100 and pays for itself within months. Real bread needs just 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. When you make your own bread, you control exactly what goes into it. No hidden preservatives, no emulsifiers, no corporate shortcuts. How to identify quality bread? Check the ingredient list. Real bread should have flour, water, salt, and yeast as the main ingredients. If you see more than 6 or 7 ingredients, question why. Avoid cultured or fermented ingredients. They are often hidden preservatives. Check the shelf life. Real bread goes stale within a few days. If your bread lasts 2 weeks, it is loaded with preservatives. Look for Australian-owned bakeries. When you buy from local bakers, profits stay in Australian communities. Buy from the bakery section, not the bread aisle. In-store bakeries often have simpler ingredient lists than packaged bread, but always read the label. The Australian bread industry has been quietly consolidated by multinational corporations. Associated British Foods owns Tip Top, Abbott's Village Bakery, Bergen and Wonder White through George Weston Foods. Goodman Fielder owns Helga's. The choice you think you have on the supermarket shelf is just different labels and different marketing, but the same corporate owners. Meanwhile, they have loaded our daily bread with additives. They hide preservatives behind clean-sounding names like cultured wheat flour. Emulsifiers in many loaves have been linked to gut damage and increased cardiovascular risk. Dough conditioners speed up production at the expense of your health. This is not the bread your grandparents ate. This is industrial food production dressed up with nostalgic marketing. The most insulting part is the prices. Australians pay 40 to 60% more for bread than people in other wealthy countries. You are paying premium prices for products filled with cheap additives. You deserve to know what is in your bread. If this video helped you understand what is really on your breakfast table, hit the like button and share it with your family. Subscribe to Crisis Report Aussie so you do not miss our next investigation, and ring the notification bell. We expose the products companies do not want you to question. Drop a comment and tell me, have you noticed your favourite bread has changed? Do you get bloating or digestive issues from supermarket bread that you do not get from bakery bread? I read every single comment. And remember, if you want that simple guide to take with you to the supermarket, check the pinned comment. Do it now, because I honestly do not know how much longer I can keep it available. Your family deserves real bread, made with real ingredients and owned by Australians, not corporate products dressed up with heritage marketing. Together, we are going to hold these companies accountable. I will see you in the next one.